What if I told you this stunning 1895 Victorian condo just one block off of Haight Street in Haight-Ashbury was listed under $700,000? Yes, you heard that right. The inside of this home is just, it's one of my favorite condos that I've honestly ever seen in the city. 11-foot ceilings, beautiful details throughout, original stained glass. I'm gonna show you inside in just a second. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom condo, and it's just 4 blocks away from Golden Gate Park and just a few blocks away from Buena Vista Park, which I think is one of the more underrated parks in San Francisco. I'm also gonna show you later on one of my secret hikes that I think is the best city hike in San Francisco. Let's go inside. I can't wait to show you. Come on in. This home, give you a little backstory. My buyer purchased this home a few years ago and had been looking for, I don't know, maybe a few months. She was looking for a 1-bedroom place in San Francisco. She had not yet moved here. This was her first time living in the city, and living somewhere that just screamed San Francisco, that embodied walkability, embodied like what it means to live in a city like this, was exactly what she was looking for. And so she had found a few things that kind of piqued her interest, but when she walked in here, she was like, this is it. This is hands down exactly what I'm looking for, and I can't blame her. It's literally one of maybe my favorite 1-bedroom that I've ever seen in the city. And what's funny about that is it's actually quite small, so it's under 600 square feet, but you cannot tell that from being in this space. It is so efficiently used and done. And the ceilings, like, let's take a look at the ceilings here. I don't know if you can capture it on film, but they're 11-foot ceilings, and it's just, the grandeur of the ceilings make such a difference here. It just really makes the space feel like it is not minus 600 square feet. So let's take a look at the living space. What I like about this home is that you have an open floor plan. We'll get to the kitchen in a second, but it has this mix of privacy because you have this wall here, which would be great for, you know, a TV or something, or some just nice art. So that's your separation there from the kitchen space. But I feel it has this really nice flow of being open but not too open, where the rooms don't have their own sort of personality and flow. So you're obviously on the ground level here, but you don't feel that when you're in the space. So you have frosted windows here. I really like the ability to not only have privacy, but you have some outlooks as well. I mean, of course, these stained glass windows are just so beautiful. I love the color. I love the originality of it. It's just so classic San Francisco. And then of course it's a tree-lined street, which we don't have in every piece of the city. And so you get some of the greenery peeking through as well. And you don't really hear the street. Waller, it's not a busy street by any means, but it is, you know, you're a block off of Haight. And so I still feel like you have kind of a cozy, quiet-ish feel when you're in here. So love the layout here. My client actually had a desk here, so a lot of possibility here. Of course, you could have an armoire like this, but she chose to have some working space here. She worked from home quite a bit. Landry, I'll bring you over to this piece of the living room here. So I just love the details here. I mean, obviously having storage space here, having some counter space to, you know, you could make it a wet bar if you wanted to, or just some of your tchotchkes and books, but just love how cohesive it is and how you take the detailing all the way up to the ceiling here. Of course, love how our stager put all the blue books. It's just so fun. I had someone come into an open house here and say, like, what's the deal with the blue books in this space? And I just feel like it makes it so fun. So I have to point out the light fixture above us. I want this light fixture. I love it so much. I know the globes are sort of popular right now and maybe a little bit overdone, but I think this particular fixture was just a great, unique play on that trend right now. Love how, you know, obviously we have quite a bit of natural light in here. I don't even think you need to turn on the lights at all times in this space, but you have canned lights throughout as well, just really brightening the room, and it's not overly done either. It's a really sort of tasteful use of the canned lights, as I mentioned. I'll walk you over to this wainscoting here. So some really beautiful original detailing. What I like about this space is that you don't have wainscoting everywhere. I think sometimes it can get overdone to a point where you almost feel like you can't use the space as well because you've sort of blocked off half of the wall with this detailing. And so I really enjoy the fact that it's really just on this primary wall here, and then the rest of the space over here has some detailing for sure, but it doesn't carry up to, you know, halfway up the wall. So that's the living space in here. I believe several years ago, a previous owner actually knocked down part of this, this wall here, so you have a little bit more sort of open flow into the kitchen. So let's go in here and take a look at this space. So this kitchen is just, I mean, it's pretty perfect. I have no notes on this kitchen, honestly. What I love about it, so we'll just start and work our way through the space. I mean, every single ounce of this kitchen was thoughtfully planned. I mean, just having, like, using this little piece of counter space here to make a little, you know, space for a chair. Someone can enjoy speaking with you while you're cooking in the kitchen, or bring their laptop there even. It's just, you know, you bring your laptop while you're waiting for your water to boil when you're making pasta. Like, I just love those little details. I love the mix of the colors that were used in the space, the really warm woods that pair so nicely with the shelving that you have in the living room. I love this countertop. I'm wondering whether it's soapstone or a granite of some sort, but it's a muted sort of feel, and I just absolutely love the colors here. Obviously a fun backsplash. They just really leaned into the look they were going for and made everything so cohesive. Like how you don't have handles, it's kind of cool on the cabinetry here. Stainless steel appliances. I'm a sucker for a gas range still. I know the inductions are getting better and better, but for me, it's all about the gas. I love this use of a space for a microwave so you can kind of tuck it away. Always good to know where your microwave is going because they're so clunky. And then the open shelving here, I feel like you have enough storage in your kitchen space that I think sometimes people are like, oh, I hate this new trend where it's all open because I can't hide my ugly dishes. But this kitchen allows you to do both, and also, you know, have some artwork and, you know, your pretty bowls. And I'm sure someone's, you know, this is all staging. I'm sure someone's kitchen is going to have a few more things on there, but I love it. I think it's done so well. And then you have the thoughtfulness of bringing in some windows into your kitchen. Behind this is a light well, and actually the access space to the storage room for the building. But obviously you're not wanting to look at the wall of a neighboring building, but the way that they have created the privacy and the beauty of not looking at just a blank wall, but still bringing in some light and some kind of character. I just absolutely love it. What else can I show you in here? So we have obviously your dining space in here. I think this is a perfect use of the space in terms of having a round table here. You could also have a square table and, you know, put it right up against the wall and maybe have seating on both sides. So a lot of possibility here. Again, for a space that's less than 600 square feet, I mean, you have a very, very workable and honestly quite spacious kitchen and dining space where you actually don't even feel like it's that cramped. And you could even use some of the space to, you know, cut and use countertop space for your kitchen prep or your meal prep. Over here, we have some more nice storage. Probably can't see it from this side, but perfect space to put your brooms. Love when there's thoughtfulness around that. More cabinetry up here. And then we have a nice little secret storage space up top. So obviously you need a ladder for someone very, very tall to access that. But in a space that is quite small, you need as many options as possible for storing your extra stuff. Let's get into the hallway here. Washer dryer in unit. That's always super important in condo living, and you don't get that with every place. And this is a full-size washer dryer, which is incredible, very hefty. So I love that. And then, of course, the detailing here. I mean, it's great for sort of venting out, so it's not so kind of claustrophobic in there for your washer dryer, but at the same time, it's adding some beautiful detail. The theme of this whole home is thoughtfulness. That is what you see everywhere. I love, love, love these light fixtures that are carried throughout the hallway. Just so unique. I don't think I've seen anything quite like it. Just really beautiful up there. Let's head on into the bedroom. So we have in here a full-size queen bed. It fits pretty well in this space here, and you even have space for 2 side tables, which is really important to people. It's a little bit more snug in here, but you do check the boxes with, again, having your lamps and your phone and your water next to your bed. Here, I'd imagine someone might put an arm or a small little dresser, but obviously a desk works too. So really nice that you could have your desk space in here and, you know, also your bed and just several options. Pretty good closet space, our lovely team photo. Again, you need to pull your ladder out again, but you have some more space up top for some other items. Some really beautiful detailing in the ceiling as well, just kind of pulling in that Victorian feel. Again, 1895 construction. It's just so cool to own a piece of history. I absolutely love that. Let's take a look at the bathroom. So again, small space in this home, but yet you do not feel that it is snug in this bathroom. It feels like a spa in here. You have the river stone tiling on the floor, makes you feel like you are in a fancy hotel. Really spacious shower here and a nice little shelving area. Always want to know where your shampoos and conditioners are going to go so you don't have to buy something that's clunky for your shower. And then, you know, custom cabinetry here, really utilizing the space. These built-in drawers are wonderful. I think the stager hit it perfectly in terms of having sort of nice storage under here to hide your blow dryer or whatever it is. And I forget if this opens. Yes, of course it does. More storage space in here. Put your toothbrush, your toothpaste in there, keep everything tucked away. And then no bathroom is complete without heated floors. So this river tile is heated. Love that touch. And of course, in this space, the details are carried throughout. So you have this stained glass above on this window to bring in even more light into the bathroom. And it's the same sort of look and feel that you had in the living room. So it's just that cohesion throughout the space is just so perfect. I mean, that is what I'm looking for when I walk into a home, is have the details been thoughtful throughout and carried throughout? And does it feel like one cohesive home, even if it's had many owners over time who have done their own upgrades? This home just really screams beauty and thoughtfulness and care for sure. So no skimping in terms of the way that this was done. One of the things that is so important to have in San Francisco and city living in general is storage. So this unit definitely has a lot of it, but there's even more to show you. So we're gonna head in a second to this massive storage space, really great for somebody who's a biker or an outdoors person, or just needs a bunch of space to hide more clothes or something. But if you like videos like this, I'm such a sucker for home tours. I love watching home tours on YouTube. I'm a realtor, obviously, but we have a ton of content like this. We're pushing out videos every Monday at 5 p.m. And if you want to look inside some other really special spots in San Francisco, check out our next videos. Let's go take a look at the storage, and then we're gonna go a little bit into Haight Ashbury and check out all of the really beautiful parks that surround this fantastic place. So let's go take a look. Before we get to the storage, I just want to really highlight this beautiful, beautiful building. It is one of my favorite buildings in the city. The reason that I love it so much is, you know, obviously you have this stained glass here, very specific to this unit. Actually, I don't think many, oh, actually a few of them do. Above us, there's stained glass as well. It is such a quintessential San Francisco Victorian. I love the color choices throughout. I mean, there must have been a color specialist who was brought on rather to take a look at this space, because it's the most beautiful coloring that I've seen on an exterior, and it is so beautifully maintained for something that was built before 1900s. I just love it. I think the HOA for this building has done such a fantastic job. And as a condo owner, you want to feel like you're walking into a building that has been lovingly cared for and just really shines. I think sometimes buyers feel like they're walking into a condo and maybe they love the unit itself, but the hallways may be a little bit like dirty and not kept up, or the exterior of the condo doesn't feel like they would have pride of ownership. But this place, just the exterior and the interior are so well paired. I love it so much. I geek out over this place because it's such a beautiful condo. The other things I love about the exterior, so you have these planter boxes as well with maintained little gardens. You have these planters here too, so the HOA actually pays for a gardener to come and take care of this. So it's really pleasant to look at from people walking by. The property also, it's a 6-unit HOA. It also has 2 commercial spaces in it. So 2 of those owners are commercial owners. One on the corner here is a nail salon, and then just down the street, the other one is a yoga studio. So kind of fun and special. It really is the epitome of city living to be here. I mean, my client worked from home. Like if I were her, I'd probably would duck out when a meeting's over and go get my nails done or go get a yoga class in. So it's just so fun to have that in your building and right next door to you. So anyway, kind of a fun space. So let's go take a look at the storage and a parking opportunity as well. Okay, so the unit does not come with parking, but there is an opportunity. One of the owners in the building does have a parking space that you can see right here. It's an open air space, but it is definitely secure with this kind of steel doorway here. it is available for lease. So the owner of this property could technically lease for, a little bit over $300 a month a spot. So that's very common in San Francisco. When there's not parking assigned with the unit, you'll often see that the property is listed with a leased spot that's possible nearby. So a lot of opportunity. You often get a discount for a home that doesn't have parking. And so, if you're on a tight budget and you want a beautiful place like this place on Waller, but you don't have the budget for, it's usually 10% of the market value of the home is added if there's parking. So gives you some flexibility if you want to have a car. My client didn't. She didn't have a car. She really wanted walkability. She's a big runner. So she didn't have a use for this. And actually we helped recently another YouTube buyer purchase a home in the area, and they also didn't have a car. So it's a great neighborhood for people who are big bikers or just walkers and want to walk out their front door and have everything in front of them. And then obviously a lot of great public transportation as well. It's a perfect spot for somebody who has that flexibility. So let's go again, take a look at the storage space. Oh, this little secret door. It's like this mini door, Landry. You got a duck. So here's a storage space. By San Francisco standards, this could also be an office. I wouldn't put it past somebody to literally put a desk in here and make this an office space, deck it out with some stuff. That's how big it is. So just really nice. The storage space is really bright. I mean, it's funny, these little things matter to buyers in San Francisco. It's clean, and it seems like all the other residents kind of take care of their space, and it's quite large. You could fit several bikes, you could fit your skis for Tahoe. Again, you could even put a dresser in here. I feel like it's not damp or wet in here. So you could put a dresser of clothes if you didn't have space in the unit. Okay, let's go and see some fun stuff around the neighborhood. This is one of the most walkable neighborhoods in San Francisco. We've got to go check out Haight Street. I want to show you just how close it is to this property and all the fun stuff that's at your fingertips right outside your front door. Okay, so we're gonna head over to Haight Street right now. Before we get there, I wanna talk a little bit about something I forgot to mention about this particular unit. It's actually Airbnb friendly, which is very, very uncommon in San Francisco. Most of the condo documents for properties like this state that you cannot have short-term rentals. This one does not. So an interesting opportunity for people. If you are interested in doing an Airbnb situation, definitely check out the laws around it or give us a call and we'd be happy to chat through the nuances in San Francisco. Airbnb friendly doesn't mean you can just rent it out anytime or buy this as a secondary residence and rent it out whenever you want. The city sort of shies away from allowing people to do that. But if it is your primary residence and you travel quite a bit, I think 90 days out of the year, you're allowed to rent it out to people when you're away. And obviously if you're living in the home, you can rent it out indefinitely. That one's a little bit trickier because it's just a 1-bedroom. But again, some really interesting opportunity in that specific place. Again, if you want to understand more details about Airbnb being in the city, or you want to find something like Waller that has that capability, definitely give us a call and we'd be happy to talk you through what that looks like for you. So okay, we're getting close to Haight right now. So we're on Haight Street. It's a bustling street for sure. It's literally 1 block away from where we were. It was like a 1 to 2 minute walk. The street that we were on, Waller, feels very quiet in a lot of ways. And then you get here and it's bustling. So obviously Haight Street is definitely a tourist destination. I mean, it is so quintessential San Francisco. There's so much history here. The corner Haight-Ashbury is where a lot of people come to visit. The hippie movement here, the counterculture movement here. I mean, there's so much rich history. One of the things that people like a little bit less about living here, if you're a local buying properties, maybe you want to get away from a little bit of the tourist feel, but a lot of people actually love it too. So it's a mix, and it depends what you're interested in. On our left, one of my favorite grocers in the city, Gus's Community Market. It's a little bit more expensive. You have a Whole Foods at the other end of Haight Street as well. So 2 great grocery options. And then in terms of just the commercial feel here, there is so much. It is packed, door to door with commerce. A lot of coffee shops, a lot of restaurants, more sort of that fast casual restaurant feel. You're not coming here to get as much of the Michelin star restaurants. It's kind of the more lunch, grab and go, fun stuff. You have a Ben & Jerry's up here. Some of my favorite to-go pizza spots, actually. We're here at the corner of Haight-Ashbury. So we got to pause for that. It's such a quintessential corner. Let's just get this sign here, Landry, Haight and Ashbury there. This little shop is really cute for a lot of kind of touristy fun San Francisco paraphernalia. But you know, people sitting on the corner here with their dogs and music playing and just a lot of energy for sure. We'll keep walking. A lot of why people come to this street, if you're even a local or somebody visiting, are the vintage shops. So vintage galore on the street. Like I'd say there's 3 vintage shops for every single block, which is so fun. I mean, it's reminding me that I need to come back here and have a shopping afternoon, because that's one of the most fun parts about this street, is just kind of the secondhand feel. You know, the other fun thing here is just like to buy some cool local, like San Francisco goods. You know, you have San Francisco, which is a really fun San Francisco shop, Pork Store Cafe. I think that was started in like the 1970s. It's a good party breakfast spot. It's really, really good. We have a lot of like plant stores and just fun. Obviously there's like some smoke shops too, very sort of Haight Street relevant. Caramba is a fun Mexican restaurant on our left. Just a lot of hippie vibes here. Hippie tie coming up here, super fun. A lot of artwork everywhere, some piercing shops. I've gotten my ears pierced on this street. Just a fun place with a lot of energy. It's not for everyone. I will say that. It's definitely not for everyone, but it's for a lot of people. And again, it's so quintessential San Francisco, so nothing wrong with that. Another reason why people really like living in the Haight is if you don't feel like Haight Street is your vibe, there are so many other options around you. So Cole Valley is adjacent to Haight Ashbury. Actually, my client who lived on Waller, she said she went to Cole Valley every single day. So that was where she walked actually. The Cole Valley downtown is super, super cute. It's one of the top neighborhoods in San Francisco. It's a very small pocket, but it's sort of lumped in the same bucket as Noe Valley. So really great public transportation in that area. You have Zazie, which is a really cute French restaurant. Cole Valley hardware store. It's a great hardware store. Luke's Local is a little grocer in the neighborhood. Just some really fun kind of a vintagey ice cream shop. People absolutely love Cole Valley. It has a very community feel, has one of the best Halloween trick-or-treating in the whole neighborhood, or in the whole city rather, on Belvedere Street. So if Haight Ashbury proper is not your jam, don't actually write it off your list when you're looking to buy a home, because there's so many great places around. You have Inner Sunset as well, close by, and Nopa as well. I won't go too into detail of those 2 neighborhoods, but if living around here and maybe taking advantage of some other neighborhoods nearby is important to you, give us a call or go to our website too and check out the neighborhood page, because you can watch more videos like this about those neighborhoods and see if it's more your feel. So we're walking fast here. Sorry, Landry, getting out of breath. We are coming up to Buena Vista Park. We've probably walked 4 blocks on Haight here, and we're coming up to the park. So this is one of 3 parks that you are really surrounded by living in the Haight. So this is on your east side. You have the Panhandle. So I guess the Panhandle is its own park, but it's really an offshoot. It's a panhandle off of Golden Gate Park. So you have that at the top of Haight, and then to the west, you have the true section of Golden Gate Park. So you're kind of surrounded in this semicircle with just beautiful parks. One of the things that I love most about living in San Francisco is you'll walk on this really busy street and then you will come upon this stunning park that has, Buena Vista Park, I think it's the oldest park in San Francisco actually. It's up here, it's a little bit hilly, but it has all these beautiful trails inside of it. When you're inside of it, you do not know that you're in a city. Beautiful trees. We're gonna walk inside it. It has stunning, stunning views of the city, which I'll show you in a second. I'm gonna tell you when we get closer what my favorite hike is, and it encompasses this park. So Haight Ashbury actually has the most Victorians of any neighborhood in San Francisco. That's kind of a fun fact about the area. I wanna get to real estate actually in just a second. We're gonna climb this hill though. I don't think it makes sense to talk while we climb. I'm gonna be out of breath. We'll go up one more hill here. Okay, we caught our breath. We're doing one more hill, but let's talk real estate. So what can you get in Haight Ashbury? What are the price points and how much inventory actually sells here? So one of the really fascinating things about San Francisco is it has more than 80 sub-districts in just a 7x7 city. The city is broken up into all these little cool pockets, and they each have honestly, their own identity. Most of them do, at least. And so, you know, like this area, you have a very specific vibe with Haight Ashbury, and then right next door, you have a very different vibe in Cole Valley, and they're both pretty tiny neighborhoods, actually, even though they're so well known. In the last year, in Haight Ashbury, there were 23 homes that sold. That's not a lot. It's a small pocket, as I said. So only 4 of those were single family homes. So it's a very condo and TIC rich neighborhood. 4 single families, and they ranged from like 2.8 to 5.8. So quite a bit of a different price point from what we saw on Waller. The homes generally in this area and in Cole Valley have more scale. So they're not like homes in the Sunset, for example, or even the Richmond, where you can get something with a smaller footprint or smaller square footage. The homes here, just by nature, the single families are just bigger, and so they command a higher price point. In terms of condos, there were 11 condos that sold in that time frame, and the price point for those was just a bit over 1.2 in terms of average. And then on top of that, the rest of that inventory was TICs. So kind of interesting. There's a really good proportion of TICs in Haight Ashbury, or at least that sold in the last year, because generally speaking, TICs, it's kind of like a 1-to-10 ratio with condos in terms of how much sell in the city. So almost, it was more of like a 1-to-1 ratio during the last year. So in terms of the TICs, they sold anywhere from like 700,000 to 1.9. So quite a bit of a range there in terms of what was possible. And most of those were 1 to 2 bedrooms. Okay, actually wait, let's back it up, Landry. So this is the beauty of Buena Vista Park. You have insane views. You're standing on a trail with trees all around you, and then off in the distance, you have the whole skyline of San Francisco. There are tennis courts below us. We passed a playground a second ago, so a few amenities within the park. And this is just what I love. This is what makes San Francisco so special. The weather also, I feel like every time I'm in the Haight, it's warm. I'd say, like, in terms of the data, or like if you go on our website, we have weather patterns for each neighborhood because there's so many microclimates in the city. I feel like Haight Ashbury is warmer than it gets credit for. People say it's like has a mix of fog and sun, but I swear every time I'm here, it's sunny and hot and I need to take my jacket off. Bring layers when you come to San Francisco. So I want to talk about my favorite hike while we're here. My recommendation to you, the best hike in the city. It starts in Dubois Triangle. You go to the base of Corona Heights Park. You go up to the top of the peak there, and then you take Roosevelt and Masonic, 2 quick residential streets over to Buena Vista Park. So you're touching 2 parks in one loop and 2 viewpoints, 2 sort of hilltop parks. And then so you come over to this park and then you make your way back down in a circle to Dubois. We'll map it out for you in the video. But that is one of my past clients, and I did that hike. She introduced it to me. She lives in Dubois. It's just such a gem because you get to take advantage of, again, these 2 parks and the beauty of that, but also stunning views of the city. So if you have friends or family visiting, or you're coming from out of town to buy a property here in San Francisco, make it a plan during your time here to do that hike. Okay, so obviously this is such a beautiful, beautiful part of this neighborhood, but probably the more prominent is Golden Gate Park and the Panhandle. It's right up against the Haight, and honestly, the kind of the best parts about Golden Gate Park are on this side of the park in terms of the activities and things you can do. Some of the best parts about living in San Francisco are in the park. So our best museums are in there, the De Young, the Academy of Sciences, you have the Conservatory of Flowers, and it's all over here. Walkable to wherever you pretty much live in the Haight. Other things you can do in the park, obviously the botanical gardens, the Japanese tea garden. It's just so rich with activity. I've lived here for 8 years. I've never seen the park more packed than it's been in the last year or so. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the roadways within the park, or some of them at least, have been closed off to road traffic, and now it's just a place for people to walk and bike and run and spread out, and just it's a space for people to come and be together. And I think it's just really enriched the culture of Golden Gate Park even more than it already was. I go with my husband and my son. We bring a picnic blanket and get a coffee from a food truck in the park and like just enjoy a Saturday there, especially when it's sunny. There's just like, again, quality of life with the park next to you. Like, it can't be better, especially when you live in the Haight. It's just, you have to take advantage of it. So if you think that living in the Haight or living by the park is something for you, let's chat. Let's see what neighborhoods you might consider. And maybe you're looking for something a little bit bigger than Wall, or maybe a little bit bigger than 600 square feet. There's definitely those options out there. So reach out to us, call, text, or email in all the ways below. We'd be happy to chat with you further.